Lamar Jorden, this young man here, came up through Louder Than a Bomb, the Chicago Youth Poetry Festival. And I remember meeting Lamar when I think he was 17 and thinking that he was super talented and super cocky. Not much has changed since that time. But Lamar has emerged in the last bunch of years as, I think, one of the most important writers and rappers and poets in the city of Chicago. This past year, he was a teaching artist corps member at Young Chicago Authors, which meant he was going into the high schools to energize and educate the next generation of young authors in the city. Lamar was one of the stars of the Louder Than a Bomb documentary film, which came out in 2010. Since that time, he's toured the country and some other parts of the world, promoting the message of the film and promoting the festival in other cities. He's got an album coming out this summer. I'm sure he'll tell you more about it. Please, y'all, welcome Lamar Jorden.
What's good, y'all? How y'all doing? Y'all good? So somewhere in the northwest region of Seattle, Washington, there was a homeless man, armed with a beer can, trying to drink away war memories, waiting for someone selfless enough to lend him an ear. He sits on the side of a pizzeria on the corner of Queen Anne and Mercer, in a chair they probably kick him out of after business hours. His skin has grown all too fond of the concrete beds that he rests his shell-shocked head on. His braggadocious body rocks back and forth, showing off to the world the only gifts war veterans ever received. He addresses me, and he was all like, "Hey, little bruh, you got $1?" Without even checking my pockets, I tell him, I ain't got it. Having anticipated disappointment, he responds with, "Well, that's fine, because I really wanted a 20. Amazed, right? Not that he still knows what humor is, but that it's one of the few possessions that war actually let him keep. I laugh before digging my hands into coat pocket filled with a ton of change I'll probably never use. And he lets me know that more than a 20, what he really wanted was conversation, and takes my 75-cent donation as invitation to start one. Without offering much room for me to converse, he tells me how in this country, war veterans are rarely anything more than patriotic flies on a wall. And for all these people to ignore his request is just as second nature as swatting at a pest. I guess none of them realize that here lies their tax dollars at work. His body jerks to the percussion of his bones, dancing to the song of post-traumatic stress syndrome. How wrong is it of humans to lack humanity, demanding he keep his lips locked, but possess the audacity to ask where we got his army cap, or to think it's a trinket you can purchase at a gift shop? He tells me that they've labeled him as crazy, and they say he has to take medicine called Percodan, but the one time he took it, it made him high, so why would he continue when it makes his mind worse with time? It seems like the perfect crime, having people fight for a country that won't fight for them. The goal was for one of those countries to take his life from him, and the opposing country failed when he returned to civilization, but the home country would succeed by stripping him of his home. How long will this be the standard in this country, where if war doesn't kill you, they distill you, send you back home just to rot and mildew? The phrase, war was good for absolutely nothing, unfortunately, is still true, but before he lets me go, he tells me that he wants to die. And I see a tear-shaped white flag surrender from his eye. He gives me £1, and I dig back into my coat pocket, surrendering the rest of the change I found. Tell him I have to go, because there was a man screaming at me through traffic, waiting for me to end this conversation. There were 2 friends at the bar and grill across the street, waiting for me to join them for dinner. And there was a poem scratching at the insides of my soul, waiting for me to tell his story.